Hello, everybody. My name is Luke. I'm going to be going through Activity 2, LED Blink, with everybody. So starting off, materials needed. So you're going to need a Lunasat, you're going to need a computer, and the Arduino IDE, FTDI, jumper wires for the Lunasat, a USB cable, and then the Activity 2.2 worksheet. So yeah, so we're going to be writing, I'm going to be writing the code, and you guys can follow along as you wish. So the steps, so just like general overview of the code. So we're going to have to initialize some variables. We're going to use the pin mode, digital write, and delay functions. So starting out, we're just going to connect the Lunasat to the computer using the jumper cables and FTDI. Then at the end, we're going to test the code. And yeah, you'll see the built-in LEDs on the Lunasat Blink, and you'll see it print to the serial monitor as well. All right. So here we are in the Arduino IDE. We're just going to save the file. Oh, yeah. 1 second. So I'm just going to save it to my desktop, but we're going to call it GUI LED Blink. So save. All right. So first thing we're going to start out doing is we have to make some variables that are going to store the pin numbers for the LED pins. So that's going to look like int, and then LED1, and then int LED2. So the compiler knows that the pins of the LEDs that we have attached are on pins 4 and pins 5. So we're just going to store those there. Next thing we have going is we have to set the pins to actually be outputs. We're going to do that using the pin mode function. We're going to do that for both LED1 and LED2. We're going to set these to output. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start the serial. To do that, we're going to use serial.begin. And you always want to make sure that you put in the baud rate that you're going to use. In this case, we're going to be using 9600. Yeah. So then now we're done with the setup. So now we're going to be moving on to the loop. So to actually turn on the LEDs, we're going to use the digital write function. You have to declare which pin you want to use. So, LED1 or pin 4. We're going to set that to high. This will actually turn on the LED. We're going to do this the same thing for LED2. So if you compiled this and ran it right now, the LEDs would just be permanently set high. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to write to the serial monitor. We're going to do that using serial.println. We want to use the print line because that adds a enter at the end of the line, so it starts a new line for you. We're just going to write LED1 and LED2 are on. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a delay. And delay takes milliseconds as an input argument, so 1,000 will actually be a whole second. We want to do this so that we can actually, so the LEDs will be turned on for a second, and then we're going to turn them off using the digital write function again. We have to declare the pin, and then we pass in low to let it know to turn the LEDs off. So now we're almost done, but if we did it just like this, the LEDs might turn off briefly, but probably too quick for you to see. So we need to add another delay. So now we're going to have it another second of delay. So this is pretty much the final form of the code. I'm missing this little serial print. We're just going to put that below the digital write. And we're going to change this on to off. All right, so now we should be good to go. So now I'm going to compile and see if it's good to go. Looks like it's taking just a second to compile. All right, so compiled, all good to go there. We're also going to check in tools and make sure that we have the right board and processor set. And then as well, we also need to make sure that we have the COM set correctly for our Lunasat. For me, it's COM5, so I'm just going to select that. And I should be good to go to upload. All right, it's done uploading. So now if we look at the serial monitor, let me just move the screens that it's on real quick. You can see that the LEDs, the Lunasat's telling us that the LEDs are being turned off and on. And I'll show you on the camera here as well. You can see the LEDs turning off and on in time with the serial monitor. Some common troubleshooting things, if it doesn't upload correctly, make sure all the wires on the Lunasat are plugged in correctly. If the LEDs are blinking but you're not seeing anything on the serial monitor, check the baud rate. Other than that, there should be some other resources you guys have for troubleshooting. Yeah, that should be it. Thank you.